This is the Hidden Killers podcast with Tony Brueski.
Featuring author, psychologist, and daily contributor, Siobhan Scott.
Let's go over to Kouri Richins and some new developments over there. We're now hearing more people coming out of the woodwork who didn't have anything to do with Kouri and the murder accusations or that part of her life, but her life as a home flipper, and not such a good one from what we're hearing. A complaint, a lawsuit actually filed 6 months before the murder accusations. And I think it's important to say that so everyone knows it's not somebody that just jumped onto this once they saw Kouri was struggling and had these horrible accusations that we want attention to. This was filed well before everything went down. They're saying that they're near financial ruin since buying a home from Kouri Richins because of hazardous levels of mold and an onslaught of mysterious medical problems. The complaint alleges Richins misrepresented important facts about the property's habitability and value, and recklessly and without regard for the truth. The also alleges that Richins misrepresented important facts about the properties and exactly what was going on with them. Mold being their biggest thing, saying that they tried to reach out to Kouri, tried to get help, and went absolutely nowhere. No communication at all, and that's where the lawsuit was filed. I guess it's kind of par for the course from what we know about Kouri and her ability to lie and just move on from people.
Yeah, and boy, isn't that the term, reckless and without regard for the truth? That's nailed it right there. Yeah, unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, that really does sum up her MO, I think, very accurately. I mean, when you have someone like this that we're seeing all of these new pieces come out of, it somewhat, I guess, is reminiscent of Alec Murdaugh, where, you were a bad actor in many other places in life. Is that typically, what we will see in things like this, where someone like a Kouri Richins can't seem to grasp reality, argues about her writings, that they're a screenplay and not trying to tamper with a witness? I'm imagining there's a lot of reps in this throughout life that we're going to see come forward from other people who've been affected.
Yeah, this is apparently just her personality style, and she wants what she wants. She's not operating from a place that most of us have this internal thing that we call a conscience. She just is absent in that regard. But apparently she's sharp enough, as Alec Murdaugh was too, sharp enough to play the role, and appear to be a legitimately concerned business person, a loving mother, a good wife, all these things. They're all just roles that she plays. And so, of course, we're talking about a person who's fairly high on the psychopathy checklist here, which makes her dangerous. And what other things, if she had not been caught at this point, what other things might have been in her future? This says a lot about her character and her way of doing life.
Very much so. It just makes you wonder where else this is going to go. Is it, and this is kind of a legal question, and I know you're obviously not an attorney, but I'm curious to get your thoughts. Are these other things that are popping up here, are these fair game to be introduced into her murder trial as kind of character evidence, if you will, of other things that she's being accused of lying about? Since that really is kind of a big principle of the trial, is her lying? Or how would those sort of things somehow end up in that trial in relation to her deeds?
Boy, that is a great question. And I really don't know. My guess, just based upon observations of other trials, that they probably won't be able to use all this as evidence. But if she ever has a psychological evaluation done, and I don't know, the status of that, if that would be happening in this case or not, it would certainly be relevant to the evaluator, her style of how she moves through the world, business-wise, personal-wise. All this evidence would be relevant in that case. And so that would be entered in as part of her diagnosis and her personality characteristics in that way. But I don't know, as far as a murder trial, that they would allow this other stuff in.
Sure. Same way that we looked at the Alec trial, where why was the financial things added in, and it actually wasn't intended to be. It was a mistake of one of the attorneys that brought something else up that ended up throwing all that in. They got to be careful. Her defense certainly needs to be careful, because there's a lot of other things that could creep into this if they're not careful.
You're consuming the Hidden Killers podcast.
Want more? Start binging on all of our true crime podcasts right now through Apple Podcasts and get an ad-free experience when you sign up to be a True Crime Today Premium Plus member exclusively on Apple Podcasts.
More of the Hidden Killers podcast dropping soon.
Press subscribe now.